Welcome to the Winning at Life Awards. I am your host, James Parker, joined by Gregory Ricks. Guys, it's our 11th anniversary. You can do better than that. There you go. See, a bigger crowd. I brought a bigger crowd today, Gregory. Pretty wild, too. All right, so the Winning at Life Awards is where we tell you who did the best over the past year, and this is all in our opinion. There's no qualitative research. There's no stats on the back of your baseball card. This is all 100% opinions of me and Gregory, but, you know, mostly Gregory. He's kind of the final say on some of this. So we start out with the most popular category from last year. Well, my favorite. Best beer. All right, Gregory. So we have four nominees for best beer. The Gnarley Barley Korova Milk Porter. Now, the guy listening is saying, I don't know which one that is. I'm sorry you don't know which one that is. It's an amazing one, and it's made. Gnarley Barley's out of Hammond, Louisiana, right? So it's somewhat of a local brew. And we like those big, thick porters, and that's our favorite out of that one. Number 2, Abita Turbodog. Number 3, the Abita Office Party Holiday Stout. We already had the scandal last year. Can you put a seasonal beer on the list? We decided yes, and it's our awards. And the 4th nominee is Irish Channel Stout. That comes out of Nola Brewing down on Chapatoulas Avenue in New Orleans. And Gregory, the big winner?
I've got a write-in addition to that.
Bring it.
Lazy Magnolia Southern Pecan.
Oh, see, that was one of the nominees that we had to scrub from the list last year because we didn't want to have 5 nominees.
Yeah, well, it got put back in.
I can't
by
argue
demand,
against it.
And I tell you what, when you're getting it draft, it's ridiculous. I was over at Mug Shots in Gulfport, Mississippi, and had lunch at their bar, great burgers. And at the bar, I don't know, they must have had 30 selections, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to have something. And then I see the Magnolia pull, had the beer again, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good.
So is that winning the award?
It's a sleeper winner. It was last entry in, and it wins.
Big fan of that one. I'm a big fan of all these. So
I am too. So it is actually really, really hard. It just, I think it's awesome for all of them to be nominated.
And just so the guy that's listening knows, these beers make a regular appearance. They are all in the rotation of the Winning at Life fridge.
Yes,
all
absolutely.
Right. Now, the next one is Gregory's category, Best Wine. Best Wine. Now, can I force one of my nominees in there?
You've got one in. It just turns out.
Act like it's spontaneous, Gregory. Act like we're just making this up on the go. Yes, Gascon Malbec is my forced entry there.
So what we're trying to do here, and I'll frame it from a wine standpoint, is, gosh, you know, wines, you go in a restaurant, white linen tablecloth, and look at the wine list, and you're going to see, prices can go up quite a bit. More of what we're talking about here is not the $12 bottle of wine, but more like a step up, say in the $20 price range, where you can get some good flavor, good quality, good experience without spending a lot, but not trying to be on the low end where you get some consistency there.
And it has to be something you can find in stores. You bring stuff back from Napa that I can't buy in the store, so what good would it do to tell the listener about it? None.
Yeah, right. I agree with you. So Gascon, super quality nomination there for a Malbec there. I even correlate it to competing with Cabernets as well. Joel Gott is another solid addition to that. St. Francis, and I'm speaking Joel Gott Cabernet, St. Francis Cabernet is, and both those you can find in stores. Okay. I've got a nominee that is difficult to find in stores. It was there and then it was gone. And this is B-side Cabernet.
I don't know that one.
You've not had a chance to taste that. You're
going real heavy on the cabs here, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hey. If it's the best, it's the best. I figured there'd be a Shiraz or a Carmenere or something else kind of thick in there.
I thought about that too.
It's tough.
You know, I like Sauvignon Blanc. You know, good breakfast wine, huh?
Stop it. You just love saying
white
that.
Wine. I know. It cracks people up. Gets a laugh every time. So,
and the Winnie goes to?
Joel Gott Cabernet.
All right. I do know that one. I've had it before. Can't argue against that one. Joel Gott. The next one. This is a pretty easy one. Best spinoff. The nominees are Mortgage Gumbo, and the winner is Mortgage Gumbo. So that's...
Solid winner there. Repeat.
Well, we're working on more spinoffs. I've been trying to lean on Wes Blanchard, the estate planning attorney, and maybe he could start his own show and we can get another spinoff. We'll update you next year. Best financial anchor is our next category. There are 4 nominees, and we didn't do this on purpose, but all 4 of them are from Fox Business. Did you notice that one?
I just noticed that.
Right.
All nominees.
Hey, and I watch a little bit of CNBC and a little bit of Bloomberg and a little bit of other channels as well. But these guys, these are my favorite. What am I supposed to say?
They have a tremendous lineup there.
Right. Maria Bartiromo, Stuart Varney, Larry Kudlow, the former Trump economic advisor, and Charles Payne. Out of those 4 nominees, Gregory, who do you think deserves the Winnie for best?
The newbie is Larry on the list, and I do like his new approach. It's a little bit different, but he also comes from Trump's administration there. But he's not going to win it because there's not enough time on the bench there.
Fair
from
enough.
that standpoint, and Varney is a favorite. But the hardest working woman in Business News Radio is Maria.
And she gets the Winnie?
Yes.
Oh, see, I felt she was cheated last year. Charles Payne stepped in front of her at the very end there. And Charles Payne totally deserves it as well. But, again, Maria Bartiromo is the winner for this year. And anyone who watches that channel can see why. She's literally on. She has a show every day of the week. And I think she has... It's a tie, but the longest show. She's on for 3 hours. And I think there's a couple other hosts that are on for 3 hours, but no one's on longer than her. So she does the longest show possible, Monday through Friday, and then she has a Saturday and Sunday show as well. But she has great guests. She's really good at interviews. I like her story selection. She doesn't go into politics too much.
She's on 7 days a week. She's on more days a week than we are.
The only person I know of. Yeah. All right. The next category in the Winnies is the most popular stock. We don't mean the one that had the biggest return, or the one that had the most buys and sells on it, but the most popular stock being the one. It's like the prom queen. Which one got the most attention through the year? And this is from the last Winnies Award to today. Who would you say is the most popular stock? Our nominees.
Depends on who you're talking to. I've heard rumors that Lululemon is very popular.
Do they get as many headlines as Netflix?
No.
Tesla?
No.
Amazon?
No.
GameStop?
Actually, that one that you just mentioned has jumped in ahead of everybody else just in the past few months.
Oh, it wasn't even on our radar a year ago, and then here it is.
And they stole the Winnie.
All right, and we all know why. It's the Reddit trade. It's the retail traders. It's kind of a revolt here. And the GameStop story is super important. It's not over yet, because if the Redditors can outdo the hedge funds on GameStop and AMC and some of these other stocks, why can't they just keep going down the row and picking new guys? Next category.
I'm excited about this one.
Best guests. Regular listeners to the show will notice we have a rotation of 3 regular guys that are on the show, usually about once a month. You heard Dwayne Stein in the last hour. He's from Mortgage Gumbo. He's our first nominee. Our next nominee is Jude Heath, the CPA, and he comes on and talks about taxes once a month. And then the third big guest that he gets tons of calls too, Wes Blanchard, the estate planning attorney. Wills, trust, powers of attorneys, those documents, successions. Yeah, we get all kinds of fun stuff for all 3 of those guys. So out of our 3 big nominees, the Winnie goes to
Dwayne Stein.
Dwayne, yes.
He does such a great job, such enthusiasm. That's his second Winnie today. Is that right?
Yeah, and he still has one more he's nominated for. It's the next category, Best Podcast in the Universe. And he's the first nominee. Mortgage Gumbo is his podcast. The next podcast is The Week in Geek. That happens to also be hosted by a producer of Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks, Dave DeCorbier. The third nominee is the Joe Rogan Podcast. Tens of millions of views on each one of his episodes. And then the fourth nominee is the Ask Gregory Podcast, put together by you and me.
You might think we're biased here or something, but the winner is
Ask Gregory.
Gregory.
Oh, we beat Joe Rogan. I'm so honored. I can't believe it. You know, it's an honor not just to be the best podcast in the South or in America or even in the Western Hemisphere, but the universe, huh? That just makes it the honor even bigger. And the fact that we beat out such a popular, good podcast like Joe Rogan and The Week in Geek and Mortgage Gumbo, I'm honored. I don't take this lightly.
It is a big honor.
I don't take this lightly. I will cherish this Winnie Award. I'm going to sleep with it under my pillow. Next one, most popular question. And that means for the show, obviously. For Winning at Life over the last 12 months, what has the most popular question been? Now, you think, well, how could it possibly have changed from last year? Well, it's changed from last year because we had to add questions about the stimulus program. We also had to add in the question, what if the economy collapses or there's hyperinflation? That wasn't so much of an issue in June 2020. Isn't that weird, Gregory? And then the two remaining nominees from last year are, what do I do with this old 401k? And when do I turn on Social Security?
So what was the most popular question this past year?
Well, the one last year that won, who won last year, or who's the most popular question this year?
No, the most popular question. What you're saying is the one that's asked most often about.
Right, and I know the answer to that one. It's the same one who won last year, Social Security.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering if stimulus had came in there because we got so much about that in a short period of time.
It's close. Now, last year, actually, Social Security didn't win the Winnie. It had more questions, but the winner last year was, am I ready to retire / do I have enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one kind of fell off the whole wagon for this year, understandably so. The next one was easily the toughest category. I can't believe how much time we spent on this, but it's favorite lunch spot. We're such pigs, dude. We love food.
Yeah, and it's hard to just we have so many that we both love, and we made a change here in as we're tallying this up, and we're breaking it up in kind of 3 regions.
Yeah, regional makes more sense.
Well, 4.
Yeah.
Almost there. New Orleans, we got New Orleans Food and Spirits, Spitali's, A Tavola are kind of the 3 popular ones, and one of them's a new restaurant in the Metairie area, but the winner goes in that area to Spitali's Deli on Division in Metairie, Louisiana.
Half Briar's Hamburgers on
Then
Wednesday.
the Gulf Coast, great lunch places, The Shed, a past winner, isn't it?
Yes.
And then Mugshots as well, great burger place, which is a fun place to go.
The Shed is a place where I'm glad it's about 55 minutes from my house, because if it was within a 1-mile radius, I would be about 30 pounds heavier, and I would have already had a heart attack.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Ridiculous.
So the Shed wins for the coast.
Yeah, that's the winner, the Shed.
And then a very similar restaurant up in Jackson takes the cake with it. We had this discussion. This was actually the easiest.
We're in
region.
Jackson. This is where we still go.
Yeah. Pig and Pint. It's in the Fondren district of Jackson. If you're in the area, you already know. If not, it has the barbecue that falls apart, just like the Shed. But they also have that weird little tiny bar with all the crazy different beers, some of which I haven't actually tried, and I'm always impressed when you got that.
And in Baton Rouge, Staubs Steakhouse.
Well, this is a tough one because we know a lot of restaurants.
Mike Anderson's Seafood.
Okay, I haven't been there.
And Chimes is hugely popular, and they've got a couple locations there, one just off campus and one just a short distance from our new Baton Rouge office.
Well, the one over here in Covington's not too far from your Mandeville office.
Yeah.
So who's going to get it for Baton Rouge?
Staubs has such an awesome lunch special every day with steak and some sides. It's like, oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Great steak.
Steak for lunch.
Staubs,
awesome.
Lunch. You know, it's like we never have that as a winner. Steak for lunch. I'm good with
All right,
that.
I got to put this on the website later. So
Okay.
Spitali's, The Shed, Pig and Pint, and Staubs.
Yeah.
Okay. Best financial news websites. We get asked this all the time. Where do you get all your news from, or what's some good websites I can keep track of to keep abreast on financial issues? We added one from last year. So foxbusiness.com, realclearmarkets.com, zerohedge.com, and epictimes.com.
And CNBC has been helping us quite a bit of late, too.
Oh, right. Yeah. I get some good audio from those guys. Who gets the Winnie?
Fox Business.
Yeah, we probably use them the most, but
it could be a shift. It could be a surprise next year.
We get the really cool secret stories from Zero Hedge that no one else is talking about. We get a wider ideological range from Real Clear Markets and
Epoch is a newer one added to the list that gives us a different view of things as well.
Been very helpful with some of their articles. All right,
we're running out of time.
We'll whip through these. The next Winnie category is biggest financial story of the year. This one was super tough, Gregory. Last year it was much easier, but we had such a chaotic last 12 months. Our biggest financial stories of the year. The impact of the COVID lockdowns, the restrictions, the stimulus, the whole coronavirus financial impact. Number 2, federal spending, which also includes deficits and inflation. Number 3, the GameStop. And this is basically not just GameStop, but AMC, all the Redditors versus hedge funds battles that are going on right now. And number 4, couldn't be denied this one, the skyrocketing price of lumber. And why would we care so much about 2x4s? Go build a house and tell me if it's not important.
Build a porch and tell me it's not important.
The guy that built the porch and called in the show. That was huge.
Furniture prices dramatically go up. This is tough, but I'm leaning towards the lumber.
Oh, no. I was going to say coronavirus lockdown, but no, GameStop. No, GameStop already won for popular stock.
No, you're right. It is the lockdown was the biggest story, hands down. That was because I don't know that lumber has a discussion if we don't have the lockdown. So that's how we got there.
Oh, right. And also, it's kind of dissipated a little bit, but last June and July, that was the thing that was driving our entire life.
Caller of the year.
All right, we have 4 nominees for this. This was John. Technically, it was via email to info@gregoryricks.com, but he's paying for a house that he and his girlfriend have. She's on the title, and he wants to ask, is there some sort of paperwork he can do to get on the title? And that was just a really touchy subject that I don't know. I mean, you can, but I don't know if you want to have
that conversation.
There was that one. There was Mike in Mobile who won $100,000 off a scratch-off ticket. Mrs. Sims in New Orleans discovered her husband, who had passed in 2006, was supposed to be receiving a pension this last 15 years, and she's getting a giant lump sum. And the last one was Thomas in Destrehan, who just inherited a big pile of money. And it was a fun discussion. I can't really explain the whole thing, but caller of the year?
Miss Sims.
Miss Sims? Because it's the best story.
It is the best feel-good story. Found money.
Right. She's what?
And everything made right.
She's in her 70s, and she was struggling. She's about to get a big old pile of money that she absolutely deserved.
Yeah.
Last category is our most popular YouTube video. This is going to break the mold because this one's not opinion. We just looked at the YouTube stats, and we're trying to figure out what's our most popular call or favorite call. And the stats did not match up with Gregory and I's hearts. So we're going to take the emotion out of this. What were the most popular YouTube videos? Will the windfall elimination provision crush my Social Security? We had a call from Rhonda in New Orleans about that. Number 2, what happens with health insurance coverage when you retire early? Retiring early, how do you fill that gap between being covered by your employer and when Medicare starts? And number 3, the third most popular video in the Winning at Life YouTube channel was Lisa in New Orleans. She had a big deferred compensation plan at her job. She was going to get a big fat lump sum, and can she defer deferred comp? How does she handle the taxes? Is there any trick she can do to not have to give most of that money to the IRS? That was the third most popular one.
I can see why windfall. That is a very popular Social Security topic on the show.
Well, it has to win because it had the most views, period. Yeah. All right, so that's the 2021 Winnies. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Happy birthday to us. All we ask for our birthday, you can give us a gift. Whenever you see us on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Facebook Live or YouTube, do us a favor. Hit subscribe. and hit share. That's all we ask.
Yep.
All right.
That would be so helpful.